Hello बच्चों, the question is the secretory phase in the human menstrual cycle is also called. So the menstrual cycle is the events or the cyclic changes that occurs in the female reproductive system, especially in the ovaries and in uterus. So every month in the ovary and uterus there are some cyclic changes which keep on repeating every month. Now this cycle is of 28 days. Now if we draw the pie chart showing the duration of each phase, then this menstrual phase is divided into four phases. The one is follicular phase, second phase is the ovulatory phase, third phase is the secretory phase, and the fourth phase is the menstrual phase. So these are the four phases, or we can divide the menstrual cycle into four events or four phases. So let's begin with the menstrual phase. So menstrual phase is the bleeding phase. It is the phase in which the reproductive means the broken pieces of endometrium and blood comes out from the female's vagina in form of blood. So this is bleeding phase, and the first day of menstrual cycle is considered the first day of menses or menstrual phase. So we count the duration or the first day of menstrual cycle from the first day of menses, and it lasts for about 2 to 5 days. So we can draw, if we divide this 28 days into two halves, then from here means this is the first day. So first to 5 days, so suppose this is the fifth day. So this phase is the menstrual phase. Now after the bleeding is over, now starts a new phase which is called the follicular phase, and it is also known as the proliferative phase. Now in this phase there is growth of follicle in the ovary. So in the ovary follicular growth will occur under the influence of FSH, and also the follicular cells release estrogen, so level of estrogen will be high, level of FSH and LH will also be high, and the estrogen now acts on the uterus, and due to this the innermost lining of endometrium of uterus, which is endometrium, it becomes thick. So this phase is follicular phase, and it starts from the end of menstrual phase and it is up to the ovulation. So this phase, this is the follicular phase. Now as the follicular phase is over and the follicle is fully mature in a ovary, now the next phase is ovulatory phase. During this phase there is LH surge, means just before the ovulation. Ovulation is the release of secondary oocyte from the ovary. Now before this there is LH surge, means sudden increase in level of LH, and due to this the secondary oocyte is released from the Graafian follicle and ovary. So release of secondary oocyte is called ovulation, and this phase is called the ovulatory phase, and it is on the 14th day, means on the mid of menstrual cycle. So this is the 14th day and it is called the ovulatory phase because ovulation occurs during this phase. Now the next phase is secretory phase, and it is also known as the luteal phase. What happens during this phase? The empty Graafian follicle, the fully mature follicle is called the Graafian follicle, and when secondary oocyte is released, then this empty Graafian follicle changes into a yellow body which is called the corpus luteum. So there is formation of corpus luteum, so this is called the luteal phase, and also during this phase endometrium releases a fluid. If in case the embryo is formed for its nourishment in early days, it secretes a fluid, so it is also known as secretory phase. So it is from the end of ovulatory phase and from and up to the beginning of new phase. So it is of about 13 days. So this phase is the secretory phase. Now let's see the options. So luteal phase, we have to tell the secretory phase is also known as, so secretory phase is also known as luteal phase because there is formation of corpus luteum, but it lasts for 6 days. This is incorrect because it is of about 13 days. So this one is incorrect. The second option is follicular phase. So this is true, sorry, not true, because the secretory phase is not the follicular phase. So it is discarded. Third is secretory phase is called the luteal phase because there is formation of corpus luteum and it lasts for about 13 days. So this one is true. The next is follicular phase. So again this is incorrect. So the right answer of this question is option C. I hope this explanation is helpful. All the best.